All right, we good?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, I gotta
You
set
breathing?
up.
Yeah, sorry. I got a bad hit.
I gotta set up my tablet.
you get you Superman that joint or what?
Straight ash
Damn.
out of the bowl.
Oh,
All right,
right
here
in
we
the
go.
throat. That shit burns.
Yeah, it's the worst. Get a hot cherry going down your fucking wrong pipe.
Whoa. That happened. That's awful. Maybe take a drink real quick. You got a drink? You got a water or something? Or
Yeah.
Yeah, I got it.
there we go.
This is just editing. It's easy for me.
All right, I'm ready.
I just got to remember to get this edit in because sometimes I forget and leave some wild shit in there. All right, here we go. All right, we are back, guys. Hope you enjoyed that little timeout. We're returning with the midpoint Marvelous Facts. This is Carl's segment. He shares some Marvel facts, quizzes, and history. This week, we're going to focus on the ladies of the Marvel Universe, or a few of them anyway. Carl, why don't you take it away? Spit the bit with the midpoint Marvelous Facts here for us.
All right, I got first appearances of Teresa Parker, Riri Williams, and Lady Deathstrike. Teresa first appeared in Amazing Spider-Man Family Business #1 in June of 2014. Do you have any facts on her?
Yeah, I basically just kind of have it. It's still up in the air whether or not she is Peter's sister or not. Truly, it kind of was left ending with it hinting towards her being his true sister. But she also did know his identity as Spider-Man until Metallo. He snuck up behind Kingpin as the giant kind of fight was going down. He unleashed a massive energy wave, knocking everyone out, and included Teresa. At this point, she lost her memory of Peter being Spider-Man. So although she does know she is Peter's sister or thinks she is, she does not know Peter is Spider-Man. So that's what, just to clear everything up as far as where she stands. She doesn't have a deep history. She was literally in one OGN, which is basically just a giant graphic novel.
Oh wow!
With an enclosed story, so that's all she's been in. But that's just some info about her. Well, why don't you tell us a little bit about Riri?
Riri's first appearance was in Invincible Iron Man #7 in May 2016.
Did you have something to say there, Trev? Sorry, did we cut you off, man?
Oh no, I was just saying I was looking at the Family Business OGN and the art's done by the guy who did the covers for Clone Conspiracy. It looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, it is artistically a sweet book. As far as Riri goes, she was also briefly mentioned in the very first issue of what was the All New All Different series? Was that also Invincible Iron Man? Yeah. Okay. She was mentioned in just by Tony Stark randomly, how some 15-year-old figured out how to make his armor. So she was mentioned in there, but yeah, you were right. She didn't appear until #7. And I actually bought that issue not knowing she was appearing in it. I was buying that series regularly in individuals, and I ended up selling it for $30 on eBay.
Really?
Because of that. So that's yeah.
That's awesome.
I swear to God. It was one of those just things I'm bleeding cool. They're like, oh, this issue is going for decent money on eBay. So I'm like, well, let me try this out. And it did. It ended up a bidding war occurred and it got up to $30. I was like, fuck yeah.
I thought about doing that with 7 to Eternity #1, but
yeah.
Couldn't part.
And you know when else you do it? You do it when the movies come out. If you got any popular issues when movies dropping, Spider-Man coming up, you got any hot Spider-Man issues, now's the time to put them up there. You want to get rid of them. Thor, when that movie comes out with Hulk, those issues will skyrocket a little bit. So that's when you got to get rid of your comics. But anyway, just 2 facts about Riri. She was 5 years old when she was classified as a super genius, and S.H.I.E.L.D. started keeping an eye on her. She created her Iron Man armor while at MIT. So that's just, again, not a character with a deep history there, but just a few random facts. I kind of like to go for the crazy shit. when we do the what the fuck facts, but when you're a new character, you don't get the chance to really run into those crazy comic book situations until you get a deeper history. You know what I'm saying? And then we're gonna wrap it up with Lady Deathstrike. Kyle, take it away for Lady Deathstrike.
All right, Lady Deathstrike first appeared in Daredevil 197 as Yuruko Omeya.
Yukio.
Sounds right.
In August of 1983, and she first appeared in Alpha Flight number 33 as Lady Deathstrike in April of 1986.
I remember her from the cartoon.
Sorry.
Wolverine going, Yukio!
Yeah. I got a couple crazy things here about Lady Deathstrike. She was responsible at one point for severing the legs of mutant hero Sunfire.
Ooh.
I don't know how he grew those back. Does he have robot legs? Not that I know of, right?
Not that I know of either. No, I don't think so.
Did Forge hook him up or not? We'll have to look that up for next week. Lady Deathstrike's original body was destroyed. I did not know this. She became a digital consciousness, was downloaded into Ana Cortez, who became host, and the new Lady Deathstrike until Ana killed herself. Yukio's mind, or Yukio's mind, well, however you say her name. Oh, how did Wolverine shout at Trevor?
Yukio. That raspy voice.
Yeah, her mind was placed into the body of her friend Rikio, who is currently apparently her host. So I did not know she is a consciousness transported to different bodies, apparently. Unless that's all been retconned and changed, which is quite possible. I don't know. I didn't get that deep into it. I just look up crazy things to tell you guys that, you know, blame somebody else, I guess. The people that make these stories for making them hard to figure out. But any other last minute notes for the Midpoint Marvelous Facts, or anyone else got any the fuck facts?
I've got one thing left for Lady Deathstrike too. In 2009, IGN listed Lady Deathstrike in the greatest comic book villains of all time. Do you know what she was ranked at? It was 100 villains.
Out of 100?
Out of 100. What do you think she got ranked as?
I'm going to say... I'm going to say like 73. I'm going to go 73.
I'm going to go 100. I'm going to go 100.
Lady Deathstrike was listed as the 78th greatest comic book villain of all time.
It's so close.
This was back in 2009.
Super close.
Not super recent, but...
Did you look up who was number one by chance?
I did not. I didn't think about that until like just now.
Maybe we'll have to do that. Someone write that down. We'll look that up for a segment for next week.
All right.
We'll do that for our sign out segment for next week instead of this week I have a different idea planned, but next week for our sign out segment we'll do the top villains.
IGN's top 100 greatest villains of all time. I've got it.
All right. We'll pick out the Marvel ones, and we'll see which Marvel ones rank as the top 10, and we'll debate that a little bit towards the end of the episode next week. So maybe you'll look forward to that. Maybe not. We'll see. But that's going to end the Midpoint Marvelous Facts for this week, guys. As far as focusing on the ladies goes, we're going to get back to the books and wrap things up here with Weapons of Mutant Destruction number 1. Trevitt, why don't you take it away? This is your IVX section.
All right.
Well, why don't you tell us what this one's all about? I had to catch up on like 4 issues of Weapon X related crap this week.
Yeah, there's a lot.
Not crap, like I didn't enjoy it. I did enjoy it, but I had to read issue 3. I had to read Hulk 19. I had to read issue 4. So I'm up to date on Weapon X.
There's a lot of stuff that led to this, which I mean, given the 6 issues that they mention at the end of this, including this issue, the trade's probably going to be like 8 to 10 issues. I'm figuring this. Well, now that they didn't call it an alpha, I'm expecting there will not be an omega, but who knows with Marvel. They love
I
their
think,
Omega books.
like what they've been doing with the trades as far as events go lately. Have you noticed they're like $35?
Yeah, hardcovers too.
Yeah, well, at least the IVX contained everything. You know what I'm saying? But it was still $35. That's probably what this will be too. Like they'll throw everything related to it in,
Yeah,
with the exception of the
that's right.
weapon, the first couple Weapon X issues, and then this will probably be $35 as a trade. I imagine.
IVX was a decent price for the amount of all the Uncanny Inhumans issues, the all-new X-Men issues, the Extraordinary X-Men issues, the Uncanny X-Men issues, and the IVX. Jesus Christ, that's a lot of issues for $35.
Yeah, it is. The only problem is it's literally you're suffering through reading some of those tie-ins because some of them are just not good.
Oh yeah. Skip everything but the Uncanny Inhumans tie-ins. Those are the best ones. And there's one X-Men tie-in that was really good. I think it was Extraordinary with Jean Grey and Karnak. That was pretty dope.
Yeah, you said that one.
I never thought I'd say this, but Jean Grey is steadily starting to become one of my favorite characters, and I never really ever gave a shit about her, but she's becoming one of my favorites. Like,
yeah.
But let's get into some Weapons of Mutant Destruction #1. I got this solicit here, the little blurb. Their goal is a simple one: eradicate all mutants, but it's with an exclamation point, like eradicate all mutants. And they're starting their hunt with the most dangerous group of mutants on the planet Earth. Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Domino, Lady Deathstrike, Warpath, and ... the Hulk. But with an army of genetic cyborgs at their disposal, this may just be the beginning. Actually, the beginning was 2 issues ago, but that's okay.
This is kind of the middle.
Yeah, this is kind of the middle. The writing was done by Greg Pak, who writes both Weapon X and Totally Awesome Hulk. The art was by Mahmoud Asar, who does the art for Totally Awesome Hulk. Colors by Nolan Woodard, and letterer is VC's Joe Caramagna.
Caramanga.
Yeah, Caramagna. Whatever. It's Joe. Good old Joe.
Good old Joe.
From the good old VC tribe. Yeah. Yo, Joe, write a letter for me. I'm good with that stuff. Anyway, so we start off this issue at Serenity Hills, Texas, at what I assume is the new Weapon X facility, which earlier from actual Weapon X issues, I thought was in DC, but I guess they moved. So
yeah, I thought it was in Canada.
Yeah. They have bases all over the place for some reason. Like the last Weapon X issue, they were on an oil rig. Like
yeah,
you're
right.
It's crazy. So they're in Texas. Someone ordered pizzas. Now I just gotta say we got 6 issues here, dedicated. We got 6 issues where the pizza man is making his way through different color-coded sections of the facility.
6 pages, you mean?
Yeah, 6 pages. I wrote issues. I don't know why I wrote issues.
Because that would be a fucking hell of a lot of filler to be reading.
That'd be a long walk to deliver some pizzas. So but there was 6 pages for this guy to walk through the building and delivers the pizzas. And the only thing I learned was that all the different departments and labs are color-coded, and nobody likes JoJo's Pizza.
Except for the last lady.
Except for the main scientist lady. She seems to love shitty cardboard JoJo's Pizza. So then
ketchup with Velveeta, they say at one point.
Ketchup with Velveeta. That was pretty funny. So next we have
that'll make you retch. That is fucking awful sounding.
Yeah, that is disgusting. Velveeta and ketchup. I don't like ketchup. I find ketchup repulsive to begin with.
I'm not a ketchup fan either. I don't like the smell of it. It ruins any food it's put on for me.
I'm a mustard guy on like cheeseburgers and hot dogs, and no ketchup, please. Maybe on fries. Maybe if I'm feeling saucy that day, but otherwise, no ketchup.
Yeah,
we can say, Carl.
Sorry, I love ketchup on everything.
I know somebody who put ketchup on like anything. An ex-girlfriend of mine would have ketchup on the table with every meal. Like she'd put it on fucking everything. It was just,
my kid eats like when we cut up her apples, she dips her apples in ketchup. She loves it.
No.
Like She asks for it and craves it.
Oh, man, everyone's the apple.
McDonald's for that with Happy Meals.
Oh my god, my nephew's like that with butter. He'll just like eat butter raw. Like, yeah, it's disgusting. Yeah. But anyway, next we head over to the Xavier School, where Kitty Pryde is getting a mini brief of what's going on over in the Weapon X book. She asks him to come in for a full briefing to see if the X-Men can help, but Logan's not really interested. Kitty even offers up Colossus, but Logan believes he has what he needs to complete the mission. For a minute, I'm going to break down the team.
I think you kind of pick up on the hint here that Wolverine only really wants people that are willing to kill these people that they're going after. Yeah, so he doesn't want Colossus or any of the X-Men coming to help and like interfere with ultimately what they're trying to do, which is get rid of this Weapon X shit once and for all, you know?
Yeah, which is funny because it was established in the last Weapon X issue. Cho didn't want anyone to kill. He was like, I got one rule: you guys can't kill anybody. But
but they're not mixed up. Are they mixed up with him at this point or not?
Yeah. They're already on his ship and everything.
They're on his ship, yeah.
Yeah, he stops them when he's on the scene, but I think when his back's turned, they're gonna cut someone's throat. You know?
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Like stop us all.
Most definitely. So. At this point in the issue, they break down the team and go through their powers. I'm not going to do all that, but we already know the team. We got Logan, Sabretooth, Domino, Lady Deathstrike, and the Hulk.
This is for people jumping on.
Yeah, just for picking up the Weapons of Mass Destruction #1 because it looked interesting, and you don't normally read Weapon X or Totally Awesome Hulk. So, where was I? Oh, yeah. Wow, I wrote Kitty. That's ridiculous. Anyway, so Logan ends his phone call with Kitty, and then he immediately runs in and surprises and just slices Sabretooth and Lady Deathstrike.
I know.
That was pretty fucking awesome, though.
It was awesome. Although Lady Deathstrike looked like a 65-year-old crackhead with metal fingers right there. Like the art's kind of
yeah, she does look all cracked out.
She really does.
I think it's shaky because this guy doesn't normally draw the Weapon X dudes. You know what I'm saying? Like he's a Hulk artist. So it's not their usual character designs.
His art's it's a little different in the Hulk because I read the last Hulk issue that he did and it looked a little different than this. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah, Sabretooth bitches a little about how it's not fair because he wasn't prepared, and then Logan gives him a little talk about teamwork, and that's how they're going to win. And Sabretooth points out that Warpath and Domino, are they going to do what we need to do when we need to do it? Like, are they going to murder people, and are they going to be skilled enough? Which was funny because he knows them, they are down.
Yeah,
we all
it's
know
not like everyone here is rookies.
Yeah, I mean, Domino's kind of a money whore. Like, she's like Deadpool. She's in it for the cash, But and this is where it gets really cool. I really loved this page because, they go right into proving their worth, and Warpath throws his friggin' vibranium Bowie knife, and it whizzes by Sabretooth's head, and he's like laughing at him, like, you gotta be quicker than that. And then friggin' Domino, like with a cup of coffee in her hand, dashes down, fucking shoots a bullet. It ricochets off the friggin' Bowie knife and hits friggin' Sabretooth square in the forehead. That was so dope.
I don't know Domino's powers super well, but like this is a perfect way to kind of sum up how they work. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. She generates a psionic probability field. She can make she has psychic powers, but she doesn't control it like telekinesis, but she doesn't control it like most people do. The way it works is it'll create things to work to her advantage, so she can manipulate luck. Like she can manipulate probabilities.
Like people call it the luck power. Like that's really what she like. If a missile is fired in her direction, like she knows the exact angle to jump out of the way, and things like that.
And that's really dope. I mean, if I was gonna have a power, I'd want that power, or long. It's kind of like Long Shot. Cool Long Shot has that power too. Like you fall off a building and a truckload of kitty litter drives by. You just like, hey, his power's a little different in where it actually increases his luck, but at the same time, it'll decrease people's luck that are around him. So he kind of screws other people when he uses his luck powers, and hers are just psionically. But anyway, so where the fuck was I? Oh yeah, that's right. He gets hit square in the forehead with a bullet. And that pretty much proves their worth. And then next we run into the Hulk, who's futzing around with a vat of green fluid, which is the stasis formula. And somehow, some way, it doesn't really get explained, but it magically grows the cyborg's face back so that Hulk can get an identity on the cyborg that attacked them. So, they can follow leads to where they need to go.
And they got this cyborg control of it or half of its body last issue in what? Hulk or Weapon X 4? One of the two.
I think it was Weapon X. Because they were like holding.
It's the problem when I read 4 issues in a row to catch up is they all blend together for me. I'm like, in one of those previous issues it fucking happened.
They really do, and I loved it in that book. I'm with you. I forget which exact one it was too. But it was like holding the head or something, and it's doing it right.
They all kept self-destructing, and this was the only one they were able to save because the self-destruct was in its waist or something. Not in its head.
Yeah. Where does it say that?
So that's how I don't know why it grows back, but yeah, you're right.
Kind of reminds me of the Dalek from Doctor Who, because they always say exterminate, and these things always say die. So
yeah.
So all my Doctor Who nerds out there. No, so yeah, I agree. I don't know how this green shit makes him grow his body back, but it does. So he runs and searches the identity for the cyborg, and he gets the name and the address and a bunch of information where he went to college, a bunch of stuff that's not really important. But they do touch on that at the end of the issue, like where this kid came from, and he's not the only one. But anyway, Logan splits them up into 2 teams. One is Hulk and Lady Deathstrike, which I found this pretty hilarious because she's like, why am I getting paired up with the kid? And he's like, because I need someone who knows how to do what needs to be done if something needs to be done, and Sabretooth might eat him. And then Amadeus Cho comes behind him. He's like, yo, Logan, why are you putting me with the creepy supervillainess? And he's like, because I need someone to keep her from going too far if she starts to go too far. So he gives them like conflicting.
He tells them both what they want to hear. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah, like I don't want to hear you guys bitching about why you get paired up. I'm just gonna give you some bullshit, so you just shut the fuck up. Like, well, I thought that was pretty funny. And then the other team is Old Man Logan, Sabretooth, Domino, and Warpath. Where was I here? I keep losing my place in my notes. So, so
they like head off to some new facility.
Yeah, they head off. That team heads off to a new facility while Lady Deathstrike and Hulk, but he's in his Amadeus Cho form, so I'll just call him Cho for the sake of simplicity, go to check out the mother's house of the cyborg, who used to be the kid. I don't think he's the kid anymore. I never got that clear. Like, did the cyborgs have the brains of the people in their adamantium skulls and they're like reprogrammed?
I think they just like replace them and use their skin, basically.
Use the identity.
Yeah.
So, where am I? Oh yeah. So they head off to this facility that's like a Roxxon dummy corporation, because if anything has to do with chemicals or any kind of shady shenanigans, it's always Roxxon. So they head off,
or Alchemax if it's a Spider-Man book.
yeah, or Alchemax, and they head off to look at this place because it has to do with the stasis formula, because the company had all these gallons, like thousands upon thousands of gallons of this stasis formula. And when this dummy company closed up, all that stasis formula went missing. And they're here to investigate to see where it went. And the funny part is, once they get into this, they get outside, and Sabretooth's like, all I can smell is 5 cats. So the building's empty. So, they make their way inside, and Domino just finds like a little compartment in the ground full of mud. It's just like, check it out. I'm taking it. Can I take it? I'm taking it. Like, that was hilarious. I'm taking it. Can I get? I'm taking it. So next thing, so while she's doing that, Logan's checking out the computer system, and Sabretooth's fucking petting cats. And the next thing you know, this cat turns into like this crazy cyborg cat machine and fucking like I think he like
Like
swallows his
engulfs
whole
his
hand.
hand.
Yeah, it engulfs his hand.
Yeah, it
It's
does.
fucking crazy. And then he almost gets his
It
hand
goes
bit off.
chomp.
Yeah, it goes fucking crazy. And like everybody's going nuts. Friggin' Logan's slicing them in half, Warpath slicing them in half, Sabretooth's bashing it into the wall. And Domino's sitting there picking up money. Like her money just goes flying in the air, and that's the only thing she cares about. And she's like, she's trying to pick up all the money.
She's not fighting anybody at this point.
No, she's trying to make her way towards the door, and she gets attacked by a cat. And she shoots it, it explodes, and then her money blows up, and she's like, "No!" Which is just hilarious. I thought that was great, especially.
I almost feel like her luck powers helped her find the money too. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, what a bummer! Find all that money, and then it gets burnt up. Damn it. She's the only one of these people without a healing factor, so she couldn't take the chance of actually getting attacked by those cyborgs. Logan gets what they need, and well, the funny part is, this is hilarious. There's like a big panel in the middle of the next page, and she's like trying to catch all the burning and the money in the air, and she's like, and I used to like cats. Like,
yeah, she fucking hates them now. It cost her a ton of dough.
So then they bounce, and we move over to Amadeus Cho and Lady Deathstrike friggin' walking down the street, making their way to the front door of the mother of that child, who I'm assuming is a little bit of a racist, because and I didn't get this because
she's a scumbag.
On their way there, I like Cho says like no one's gonna recognize us as long as you don't get all Deathstrike, because he has a face scrambler, like it's what Nightcrawler used to use for people to see him as a normal person, so they didn't freak out in public. So they come to this door. And the mother says, like, you know, you're not my son's friends. Like, she's like, who the hell are you? He didn't have friends like you. And he's like, is that a racial thing? So, like, which makes no sense, because if your face is scrambled, like, what did you make yourself look like? I mean, they look exactly what they're supposed to look like. So,
yeah, I don't get it either.
Yeah, so he takes that as a racial slight and then gasses her in the face to knock her out. So, which is just kind of fucked up. So,
yeah. Just for a B&E, break and enter.
Yeah, just for a B&E. So we turn the next page, and then we could actually see, I guess, you know, on the one page he had stubble, and then on the next page he didn't. But he kind of looks like he's drawn mostly the same. Like, what did the face scrambler just put stubble on his face?
Very different at all.
Yeah,
Neither
really
did Lady Deathstrike.
So this woman's knocked down on the floor, and they start going through her shit. Amadeus goes through the kid's room. He's peeking around, and he notices that, you know, it just, you know, computer cable, laptop. He's like, this kid didn't know he was leaving for good. You know what I mean? You don't leave all this stuff if you're just going to disappear. And then Lady Deathstrike comes in, and she's like, hey, I lifted the mother's phone. And they start going through it, and they find messages from his brother. And it's like, you got weed? And like, no, I don't got your weed. It's like, stop lying, B. Like, I ain't fucking around.
So fucking, I laughed my ass off when I read that text message.
Me too.
I'm like, oh my God.
And Cho's all judgmental, and he's like, nice family, you know. And then, you know, they find the video, which is so fucked up.
That is fucked up.
It really is. The kid's sitting there, he's crying, he's holding a cat, and the fucking mother, I'm assuming this is what happens, the mother makes him put it in a bag. Okay, he puts the cat in a sack, and I'm guessing either she bashes it with a bat or she just whacks the sack like against the wall or something. Because if it's
she's fucking a weirdo.
Yeah, because the way, like, you know, Amadeus Cho is taking it, you know, they leave the house and they're walking down the road, and Lady Deathstrike's like, you know, what's up? What's wrong with you? You look a little bothered, you know, did that shake you up? And he's like, of course it did, you know. He's like, who does that to their kid's cat? Like, that's really fucked up. So I'm assuming that they just like smashed it, you know. And then
they killed it somehow.
Yeah, and then she gives him a little speech like, you know, live in the real world, kid. Stop being such a fucking pussy. Like, this is what people do. People are fucked up scumbags. And fucking. So then from there, we go back to Serenity Hill. So then we go back to Serenity Hills, Texas, where we meet up with William Stryker, and he's indoctrinating some youth to join his cause, which means being a test subject for the Cyborg Hulk Wolverine program. The doctor comes in and gives him shit about not finding people to volunteer fast enough because she needs more raw material to complete her experiment. She gives him some shit. He knocks her tablet out of her hand, and then she walks over to her lab to meet the next volunteer, which is this kid that he just finished, like, you know, indoctrinating. And
Yeah.
so it's kind of funny too, because he's got this kid, like, this kid's a firm believer in whatever the hell Stryker's trying to sell him. So, like, I guess he's a reverend. And the kid looks over at the doctor and he's like, "Will you pray with me?" And she just blasts him with like a stun gun.
Like, does he like bite his tongue off in the next scene? What is he drooling?
You know what? I was wondering that myself. I'm zooming in right now. It does kind of look like he's biting his tongue. I think you're right.
Ugh.
He's like, ugh, and all this pink stuff is kind of like hanging out of the side of his mouth. That's a pretty big tongue. Like, that's like Gene Simmons worthy. But
yeah, that's why I couldn't tell if that's what it was or if it's just like him foaming at the mouth or.
I think he did. I think he might have bit his tongue from the shock, like from getting shocked.
Yeah.
And then
Just fucking bit his tongue off.
They pick him up, they hand him over to the mechanical arms, and they drop him in the vat of the stasis formula. So here's our next, and the fucked up part is he's in this vat, like, you know, screaming for dear life, and then in the vats all around him are the failed Hulk experiments, and they're fucking gruesome.
Yeah.
Like, I'd be freaking out too. Imagine that, like, someone just stuns you with a gun, throws you in one of these vats, you look from left to right, and there are all these fucking rotted corpse monsters in there, and you're like, this is what you're gonna do to me?
Yeah.
So much for being indoctrinated.
That's a pretty fucked up ending.
Yeah.
And then it continues in Totally Awesome Hulk 20.
Yep, Totally Awesome Hulk 20. And then after that, Weapon X number 5, I believe. Yes, Weapon X number 5, and then Totally Awesome Hulk 21, Weapon X 6, and then I think the last issue, which is part 6, is Totally Awesome Hulk 22. So, and I think they're all bi-weekly now, so it's going to be quick. I think it's going to be done pretty quickly. Like,
yeah, that's the plan. I don't think it'll be extended by that. By then.
I don't think so either.
So what do you think? Buy, borrow, or forget for your issue here this week?
So I have to say I enjoyed the last Weapon X issue more than I enjoyed this issue. The art wasn't great, but it wasn't bad either. It's kind of like a middle of the road issue. So I'm looking at it. I'm just gathering my thoughts about it because I really don't know how to feel about it. I don't hate it. There were a lot of funny moments. I didn't need the 6 pages of the guy walking through the facility to get the pizza. It was a funny joke. Yeah, like the whole JoJo sucks, and the doctor's the one that ordered it. But at the same time, I didn't need 6 pages to deliver that message, especially with an extended page count. We normally get like, what is this issue? It's 33 pages. A normal issue is 23 pages. So we got 10 extra pages, and 6 of them were wasted on a pizza delivery. So yeah, come on. And you paid extra money. I think you paid extra. Let me check out the price for this. It was $4.99.
Yeah, no, it was a $4.99 one. Yeah.
So you paid that extra $1 to watch a pizza get delivered. That kind of pisses me off and salts me a little for how I feel about the issue. But all the Weapon X stuff was pretty cool. It really followed perfectly and seamlessly the past Hulk and Weapon X issue that led into this. Some of the art, some of the panels look pretty cool, but for the most part, I guess it's just this guy's style, and it's not bad. It's just I'm not crazy about it. Oh, there were a lot of funny moments. I really enjoyed Domino. I'm starting to really enjoy Domino overall, even in the Weapon X title. I really like how Hulk has been working together with the team. I've really enjoyed it, but I would say I'm not sold on a buy, so it's definitely a borrow for me.
Yeah, I think that's where I'm at too. I'm in borrow territory, and mostly because I read 3 issues to catch up to this issue before I started it, and the beginning was mostly, like you said, the delivery of the pizza stuff, which was kind of nonsense, and then like just recapping all the characters and what everyone's doing in the book, which I already knew. So it was really kind of catered to new readers to get in and sucked into this event if it's something you haven't been staying up to date on or reading consistently like we have been. I don't totally hold it against it for doing that, but I feel like it did. It spent all its extra issues all its extra pages. You got me on the issues for pages. All the extra pages doing just that and not progressing the story really very far in the end. I think it's fucked up that they're using their own like subjects to test this Hulk shit out. And I think it's kind of a cool progression just story wise, how they were originally collecting all the Weapon X. But they just kind of were too much of a hassle. So they're going to deal with regular people and try to turn them into this weapon instead of dealing with kind of people that are already weapons. You know what I'm saying? So that's a cool twist. And there were other things I liked in the story, like you said, the humor, and I like where it's headed. But as far as this issue goes, I think like you could skip this special issue and just follow the Weapon X and Hulk stuff and be fine and save yourself $5. So if like your buddy gets a code and wants to share it with you, or we put it up on our Twitter later this week or something, get it for free, you know, borrow it. I would say, and that's why.
Didn't seem like
I
anything.
like the art enough. The art wasn't bad, but I like it again in Weapon X better.
Yeah, me too. Greg Land is way better.
Yeah, but that's about, you know, my thoughts on that one. It was my favorite issue of the week, without a doubt, that we read and covered on the podcast. So it gets that award, tallest midget at the circus, but it was a borrow overall.
That was great.
What do you think, Carl?
No, the book was all right. I liked it. Story was didn't go very far, but it interested me. I didn't cut up, so this is that issue for me. I'm that guy that's gonna pick back up from issue 1 of Weapon X and be like, okay, I can understand what's going on here now with everybody. Yeah. So I did enjoy that part where you had an issue, slight issue with it. I had the most issue with that 6 pages of pizza delivery, and it almost threw me out of the story right where we started.
Yeah, it was nonsense.
So I'm gonna give it literally solely on that one part. Like you guys were saying, it's a $4.99 issue, so it used its extra pages for delivering pizza. I'd borrow it.
Yeah. Well, we got our first universal borrow at least tonight. We didn't pay in everything, so that's good.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely good.
But that's going to end our book segment for the night. We're going to do a quick little sign out segment here since we all got a whole bunch of hate in on Marvel as far as legacy news goes. I figured like the movie 10 Things I Hate About You, we do this quick little segment, 10 Things I Hate About Marvel.
Oh boy.
And we're going to go around it in roundtable fashion. So we have 10 ideas together. It wasn't really something I wanted anyone to do research on. I just want you to shout like the first thing that comes to mind and see if we can hit 10. That's kind of like the little game we're playing here. Get started just to set the tone. And then Trevitt go, and then Carl go, and then I'll go, and we'll go around in a circle like that. We'll see if we can hit 10. So we got to go around 3 times, basically. So I'll start off, and I'll say issues that exceed $3.99. That's the first one. So what about you, Trevitt? What do you got for 2?
Fucking paper quality. Like half the time, the paper is beautiful, and then the other half the time, it looks like shit.
Yeah, paper quality for 2. What about you for 3, Carl?
And the amount of tie-ins and events.
Amount and tie-ins and events is a good one. Number 4, I'll say yearly sales gimmicks and relaunches. What about for 5, Trevitt?
What was your first one again? Say that one more time.
So any issue over $3.99.
Yeah, that's a big one for me too. Keeping the A-list artists like Oliver Coypil, Jim Chung, keeping them on the bench and only letting them do events and one-shots and fill-ins. Like, that's bullshit.
Yeah. That was, what, 5? So Carl's on 6?
With me being a really new reader, I have just that. You guys said it all. The price for me is something. And then the amount of tie-ins, how hard it is for me to follow Secret Empire when there's two tie-ins a week, 3 tie-ins a week.
So no new one?
Yeah.
We'll say Carl's for 6. We'll give him a cop out and we'll say, I don't know, event price of overall events. You know what I'm saying? We'll give them an overall cost of following an event.
Oh, I got
instead
a
of
big
just
one.
like $3.99.
I got
I'll go for 6, and then Trevitt's got 7. Let's see if we can. Or no, I'm on 7, and then Trevitt's on 8. So we'll see if we can get to 10 here. 7 would be. Oh, fuck. I'll say this. Even though they brought them back, getting rid of the digital codes for 3 months, that pissed me the fuck off, because now I got giant gaps in my digital library, which drives me nuts as someone with like an OCD collection thing.
That did piss me off too.
Yeah. What do you got for 8?
My 8 is the whatever kind of system they have for pricing on trade paperbacks is bullshit. Like, I'm sick of getting a 3 to 4 issue trade paperback that's padded with 3 issues from the 60s that I don't give a fuck about and doesn't relate to the 3 issues that I just read in this overpriced fucking trade, and it's costing me $18.99 or $17.99. Like, that's bullshit, and they do it all the time. I'm sick of this 4 to 5 issue trade nonsense. This 98 to 112 page count for like $20. Like, ooh, balls of steel.
Carl, do you got one more for 9 or no?
Yeah, where's my Fantastic Four at?
Oh, there we go.
There's
number 9. That's a damn good one too. Yeah, that is a good one. And we'll say last but not least, that was price related. I can't say that one. I already used that. How about you bring our classic characters back? That's a good last one. Like,
I was hoping you were gonna say that.
We want Iron Man back from the dead. We want Hulk back from the dead. We want Thor with his hammer. You can keep the other guys around, but we want the main dudes in being a book, at least an Avengers title, and then have the individual titles be those side characters, but give the main guns the big books.
Remember when we were saying that like Jason Aaron, like, Bendis does like 6 books. Jason Aaron's just doing like 1 book and then this one shot, and he did Unworthy Thor. Like, how about an Unworthy Thor ongoing instead of the miniseries we got, because it was supposed to be an ongoing, instead of having Oliver Coipel ride the fucking pine, put him on that book. You know what I mean? Like, come on.
Right. Yeah, I know. It all makes sense. They should pay us to make some speak up in meetings, I guess you could say.
Right.
But we did. We hit 10. We got it. So that was the 10 things I hate about Marvel segment. We'll have to come back to that one next year, because you can't repeat that segment too often, or people think we're negative bunch of bitching people. When we don't want that to be the case, even though this one kind of came out that way this episode, we apologize. But if you disagree with us about any of the books we just reviewed or anything, you guys can get a hold of us. The quick way in 140 characters or less on Twitter would be @MadnessMarvel1. The long form classic way would be through email. Carl takes care of that end of things, and that is @MarvelMadnessPod@gmail.com. So we'll get back to you. You guys hit us up. We'll read it all on air. We'll discuss it. We'll debate it. And for the first one, you got to pop our cherry or what? Take our male virginity, somebody. We're begging you. Other than that, as far as books go for next week, I'm going to cover Spider title related Edge of Venomverse #1. So if you buy books and follow along, that's going to be my title. Carl, you're going to cover for Heroes. What are you gonna pick up?
It's Doctor Strange and the Sorcerer Supreme #9, I think it was.
Ooh, interesting choice.
Right, nice. More Doctor Strange. I'm always down for that. IVX section. What are you taking care of, Trevitt?
Oh, I'm going to do the wonderful Jean Grey #3.
So Jean Grey #3. I got 3 issues to catch up on for the IVX section. And then we're all going to contribute our buy, borrow, or forget thoughts. We don't cover it, panel by panel like we do the other books, but Secret Empire #5 will tell you what we think. If it's finally going to hit that unanimous buy territory a little bit lately for me. So we hope we get a rebound issue here and some real shit starts happening. But that's it. Any closing thoughts for anybody in the other states besides New York, or what?
Nah, I'm good.
Nah, I'm good. I was gonna do an honorable mention, but
Nope. Trev. Yeah, well, we'll save. We'll come back to honorable mentions next week. I don't want to do them every week because
I just wanted to.
I just want to try to mix it up at the end each week. You know.
Yeah, I feel you. The book I was gonna mention came out this week. That's the only reason why I was gonna mention it. But yeah.
All right, save it for next one. Maybe we'll do that next week. If nothing spurs a different segment thought, that's what we'll revisit, some honorable mentions. But wait, didn't I say we were going to do a different closing? I already threw out an idea. I'll have to re-listen and figure out what it was.
What about Bendis Theater? What about Brian Michael Bendis
I know,
Theater?
but this wasn't a good book for that one. You know what I'm saying? We need one of the classic, like everyone's interrupting each other's scenes, so we can play that out.
We gotta do a Miles Morales Spider-Man issue. That's what we gotta do.
That'll be the one that'll really happen when him, Gold Balls, and Genki are all in a room together. That's when it really hits peak Bendis form. But that's it for us, guys. We're out of here. Party's over on the end for Marvel Madness podcast. We're signing off. You guys have a good night. Have a good week. We'll talk to you next week.
Peace.
Adios.